were walking in this tube like tunnel, and it had a glass, rounded glass on each side. And we kept walking, and when we were looking at the glass, we saw hundreds of these ships inlined.
You're listening to Exopolitics Today with Dr. Michael Salla, your source for the uncensored truth regarding the human, extraterrestrial, global, and political agenda. Click the like button and subscribe to this channel. And now, here's Dr. Michael Salla.
Well, I'm very pleased to have JP back on Exopolitics Today. It is February 10, and JP has a report about a mission he has recently completed. Welcome back, JP.
Hey, how you doing, Doc? It's a pleasure to be here. Awesome. We're living beautiful times.
Yeah, very important times. So you say you just came back recently from a mission. How long ago was this mission?
This mission was like 2 days ago.
So we're talking February 7, February 8. And what happened?
It was a team of 10 soldiers. We got on this bus and we went to this location, close to the same location that we always go. We had regular civilian clothes and we decided to go into the woods. There was a guy leading us. We were following him. But I never seen this guy before. This guy is different. This guy was slightly taller than us. He was close to 7 foot tall, this guy. And he was wearing civilian clothes as well. Man, his feet was like 13, 14 foot big. Everybody kept asking him, hey, you should be playing basketball. Oh, yeah. So, but I noticed that his skin was really pale. His name was Jaseet. He was telling his name. His name was Jaseet. And we were following this guy. So, yeah, really, it was a team of 9. But this guy, he was part of our team. He got flown from a different location. He had a security guard with him. And the security guard left and told him that he was in good hands. And while he was walking, his pace count, his steps were long. So I think we walked like almost 2 miles into the woods. And then we entered, it was a round door on the ground that opens up. I remember me telling you about the ant people having these locations in different places that they open up for people. So, but this location, I've never been to this location before. I only been to one location, in another location over there in Colorado. It was an amazing experience in Colorado. A lot of things happen up there as well. But this is the recent mission we were in. So we started going down into this cave system, and it had a lot of dripping water. This cave system was round, and it looked like it was carved by a big machine, or it was really, really well done. I remember touching the walls, and it felt like marble, like really smooth walls. And it went around. It was probably 8 by 8 round, and you could see like water going through it, like a little river going through it. You could tell that the river, I noticed that the river has been going through it for a long time, because you can see already the marble not corroding, but making a path of the river, creating like a micro canyon. You know what I'm trying to say? And we kept following this guy. And the smell was like when you fish a lot and you touch the fish and you smell the fish in your hand, or when it rains a lot and a lot of worms comes out. That smell, that distinct smell of fish and rain. And we felt a breeze coming and hitting our face while we were walking through this tunnel. We kept walking in the tunnel like maybe 3 miles in. and going in a slant position down. And we looked around, and the guy, Jaseet, he opens this round door, and it had carvings in it, and it reminded me of the carvings of the ancient Inca, ancient Indians in Mexico, similar to the same carvings they have in the Ark. So this guy, he twists his wheel, and it's smooth, so it has been opened before. Usually, when it hasn't been open for hundreds of years, it's really hard to move or to maneuver it. So he comes, he opens it. This guy was strong. He was strong. He asks, hey, can I get two over here to help me? His voice was really low. And we helped him. I was one of the guys that helped push the door open. This door was freaking heavy. It was probably like 900 or 800 pounds heavy. I was probably pushing like almost 200 pounds of force. That's what I felt. And it was heavy. So we opened it up. We're all civilians. They said not to dress up, to stay as we were. And we entered into this big, beautiful hallway. This hallway had a line on top of the wall. This line surrounded the top part of the wall, and it had a lighting, like a plasma type of thing, like the top part of the wall, and it gave light to the bottom. And we saw plants on the walls that were different, and it had flowers. It smelled really good. That smell that we were smelling into this tube that we were walking into went away, and we started smelling these flowers. So once you open the door, you smell the fresh flowers. It was a beautiful smell. It was like a vanilla. It smelled like a vanilla kind of smell, but really, 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 really a spicy kind of vanilla. You can feel the spiciness in your tongue, in your mouth when you breathe in. But it was fresh oxygen. It was good oxygen that we were similar to the ones that we smelled in the Ark. So we entered, and one of the soldiers that were in the back, he says, "Hey man, I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling good." And he collapsed. And we looked at him, and then we had a medic with us that always comes with us. We always come with a medic. He goes to him. He's like, "Hey, I think he's having an allergic reaction of some sort." So I think one of these soldiers that came with us, he was allergic to these particular plants. And when he smelled in this plant, he had an allergic reaction. So the medic gave him a shot. He says, "Well, we have to go back. He's not good. He's not good." So the tall Jaseet was like, no, he can't go back. He has to go with us. We got a type of medics too. We got people that has a lot of medicine that can take care of him, but he can't go back. We gotta keep going. We gotta keep going. We gotta keep going. So like, man, this guy's getting sick. So I was asking another soldier, say, "Hey man, you think we should bring him back? What do you think? How's he doing?" He says, yeah man, his throat is closing up. So we took him with us. We had two soldiers carrying him, and they put him in this room, and we left it. We left three soldiers there, and there was like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 soldiers were following Jaseet, and we kept going with Jaseet, and we left 3 soldiers behind. Jaseet, like, he howled, like he said something in a howling voice, and like 5 other people his size came and went to that room to take care of the soldier that was going through that allergic reaction. So we kept following Jaseet, and on our way over there, we kept seeing tall people, taller than us. We're like, oh shit, got the whole NBA here, you know. So we're like, okay, who are these people that we're seeing that are quite taller than us? So we kept going, we kept walking, and we see in the distance a bigger cave that opens up, and we see this beautiful, beautiful city. We see a type of flying saucer, bigger than the ones I usually see. And then you start seeing people our size, like 6 foot, 6'2", and they're blonde. And they're working with these tall guys, these tall people, these tall races. These people that are like similar to our size, 6'2", 6 foot, 6'5". They had blonde hair, blue eyes, and they're like, "Come over here, we're gonna show you something." So they take all our soldiers. We follow these people. The tall people, they go their way, and we start following these Nordics. I felt like they were Nordics. I felt that peace.
Just to be clear, you felt that they were Nordic extraterrestrials, not just
Yeah,
Nordic-looking humans. These were extraterrestrials that this tall guy and the other tall people there handed you off to them, to the Nordic extraterrestrials in this near this underground city.
yeah. So we started following these Nordic guys, but we kept in mind that we left 3 soldiers behind because one was sick. And I told the Nordic extraterrestrial, I told him, hey, we left 3 behind, so we can't forget about them. He says, they're okay. They're gonna take them back. Don't worry about it. Whoever needed to be here now needed to be here. Whoever did not have to be here did not have to be here. So we were like, man, that was weird. How they did that. How they knew if this guy was coming down just to, like do some harm, or he's probably working for somebody else. That's what all the other soldiers were talking about, that they didn't trust that guy that got sick, that they didn't trust him. So I guess he got sick because he wasn't supposed to see what we were supposed to see. So we kept following these guys, and we saw glasses on each side. We're walking in this tube like tunnel, and it had a rounded glass on each side. And we kept walking, and when we were looking at the glass, we saw hundreds of these ships inlined, hundreds of them. Like you can see, as far as you can see hundreds of these UFOs. They look metallic, they look round, and they had different sizes, different shapes, but they were all lined up, like just right dress, really nice. And you can see them walking in the ships and walking out, flying out, parking back in, like if they were going monitoring and then coming back and reporting what they're monitoring. There's ones that they got up and they just disappeared, and they reappeared and parked in the same spot.
So this is like a spaceport you saw there. This is a big Nordic spaceport adjacent to this huge city.
Beautiful, beautiful. Spaceport. Yeah, we can say it was a spaceport, but we had, in the distance you can see different ships, and we were like looking, and there were different different beings coming in and out also with different type of ships. And we're like, man, what place is this? Holy shit, we never heard about this place. And one of the Nordics spoke, and they said, you guys heard about this place, you guys know about this place. And this is for you to report back that this place exists, and that we're monitoring everybody. We're monitoring what everybody's doing, and we're protecting certain people, and we're working. with the military. And you know what's happening now is because we are working with those that come from above. And we're like confused by the way he was talking, but he was talking like in codes. And I understood that they're protecting the ant people. They protect a lot of different species of humans that live in the earth. And they monitor what comes in our atmosphere and what leaves our atmosphere on Earth. So they're monitoring. They're wearing that same uniform I saw a couple years ago in Orlando. There's a couple of them that was wearing different kind of uniforms.
That uniform in Orlando, that was an Air Force uniform with a patch that had some strange design with some inscription, but that designated that was an actual Nordic in an Air Force uniform that they had reached agreement. So these guys had the same kind of uniform, the same kind of patches.
The same kind of patches, the same kind of look. Some of them had their long hair still, but you could tell which ones were running the missions and coming back. So we kept walking to this tube, and we went down these escalator-looking things, and we went, and I got really close to these ships, and I was looking at them, and I felt the ship, and I felt that metallic thing in my mouth that I felt in Brazil. And I looked at one of the Nordics, and he looked at me, he smiled, and he was being followed by these other Nordics with him. And I looked at him, and he looked at me, he smiled. And then in the distance, I see it's like a screen, but it wasn't a screen. It was like a holographic screen. And it was showing where all the ships were at once. And there was hundreds of ships out and about doing different kind of missions. They mainly now are concentrated on giving messages to those indigenous, how you say that? People that haven't developed yet technology.
Indigenous people?
Yeah, indigenous people, like in the part of the Amazon, some parts of Africa, Indonesia, Australia. So they still travel and talk to these people because they say these people are pure and spiritual, and they receive what they tell them. They can't interact with the civilization that is living on Earth now, not unless they're working with the military and other unworldly power that's based out on the moon. And they have knowledge of these arcs. They protect these arcs as well. They've been monitoring this ship in the Atlantic for a long time. So these ships in the Atlantic, they do see unidentified flying objects coming out from the water, hovering, coming back down. And it's them monitoring everything that they do. So if they wanted, they could have destroyed that donut ship, but they're working with the military. So they help them get this access of these arcs. And they're helping giving this information to the military of these arcs. And they also are helping the ant people to move, and the ant people use their ships as well. They have trained the ant people to use their ships as well. They train different species of humanoids to fly their ship. What I felt as well is that they're building these ships where they brought us, and they give it to certain civilizations that are ready. So I thought that was kind of cool. And our civilization is like next in line to receive this technology. And we have received it already. And we're using it with them in the military.
So did they tell you anything about what their plans are at the moment? with these arcs and the military?
Right now, their job is to monitor us. Well, when I say us, I'm talking about the civilian sector, to monitor the nations, what's happening with all these conflicts that are happening, these earthquakes, what's happening underground on these particular places. There's still not a war, but as conflict happening on top of Earth, there's also a type of conflict that's happening in the bottom of the Earth. They didn't tell me a lot of what's happening, but they're saying that there's a misunderstanding because there's still civilizations that are like they haven't had contact in a long time with the civilization from above. So when we do have contact with these civilizations, they act aggressively because they don't know, they haven't had this contact for hundreds of years. So it's not like a war conflict, it's like a conflict of misunderstanding. So they have to explain stuff. You guys been there for thousands of years, and we're here to help. And it's crazy, all these drip drops, soft disclosures are coming out.
So all of those hundreds of ships, those Nordic ships that you saw, I mean, they are all part of this kind of monitoring of surface humanity. I mean, there's no plan to have those kind of like reveal themselves or anything like that. Were you told anything about that?
They do show themselves to certain people. They say people that are worthy, that are pure of heart, but the military has a video of these ships, but they're still holding them back. There's still a group of people that really wants to show these videos and all that, but they said it's because of protection of humanity. They need to keep this secret for now, and they know that they really want the public to see the technology that they have, to share the technology, but they're keeping the technology safe because there's a temporal war going on, and it's dangerous, the temporal war that's going on. There's people jumping on different timelines, doing different things. So because of the temporal war and the technology that they have, they say it's dangerous now to reveal the ships and all that. It's dangerous. Everybody's knowing about the arcs right now. So once the arcs are fully activated, that's when the first wave is going to be all these UFOs coming out and making contact with major powers, with the civilian sector, them coming out. We're going to see them like cars. We're going to see these ships like birds, like a regular basis. We're seeing them now on a regular basis, but when the arcs are fully activated, that's when you're going to see all these fleets of UFOs coming out, landing, flying up on different places. You're going to see them. People are going to be riding on them. And then that's also when the AMP people are going to come out and interact with us. But there's a lot of people that don't want that to happen. They don't want that part to happen. 2025, supposedly they're going to send people to the moon, and that's going to be revealed also what we have in the moon to the public. 2024 also is going to be a major breakthrough, but 2023, they're deciding 2023 for the UFOs to come more public and fly out more for 2023.
Okay, so more sightings of the Nordic spacecraft. That's going to help the disclosure process.
And they have videos that they're going to give permission to certain people to let go, for them to show to the public in the media and all that. They have videos already set up. They have people working with them in different regions, different sectors, and they're gonna let that happen. They're gonna show videos of these ships flying and monitoring military installations, making sure they're doing what they're supposed to do, monitoring other nations. It's kind of it's gonna be really exciting. It's gonna be really exciting.
Do you have any video, or will you think you'll be able to take some video of these craft as they come out?
Not now. I do not have video now, but there's gonna be different people that are gonna come out with these videos that I think they're already known in the public.
Okay, so these will be very clear, crystal clear video.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to keep you too much longer. So tell us about this city. I mean, what was the city in relation to this kind of Nordic spaceport down there? Does the city belong to those tall people, Jaseet people?
Yeah, they're working together, but their city is separated, and they're helping these tall beings to develop, and they're related to the Atlantean Atlantic people that had the domes with the pyramids. They're related to those people.
I see. So when you finished that mission, how did you get back?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'll be in my.
So
I'll be in my. I'm
how,
being monitored. I'm being monitored now.
okay, all right. Well, we'll just finish up then. You know, how did you finish? How did you leave that underground facility?
No, the same way we came in, the same way we came out. It was rare coming out from the same tube and the same location, but we were not in uniform, so I don't think we got noticed by a lot of people. Also, the city is comparable to the moon in Europa. It looks similar, but without the ice.
Yeah, yeah. You sent me that drawing you did of the city under the ice in Europa. So this city was similar, just underground.
Similar structure, similar bridges, but without the ice.
I see.
And like in the other section, they had these Nordics ships that just like levitated up, disappears, come back. It was quite interesting.
I see. So the
So
Nordics.
really, they wanted us to see this. There was actually with us part of the soldiers that went down there. There was actually a person that is part of the media for the military there. So he did have his cameras, but they did not let him record. But he was taking notes, a lot of notes on what was happening, and I think he was going to give that message to a higher ups. I don't know if it was for the president. I don't know if it was for somebody else, but he had another soldier always with him. And I said, "Yo, why is he writing? Oh no, that's what he does. He reports everything, and he sees certain symbols. He knows, you know, he reports everything to wherever." I'm like, I never seen that before, you know. Somebody else reporting and all that. But it was a beautiful experience. You felt peace. You felt nice, and people are gonna see more unidentified flying objects. It's gonna be quite interesting.
Okay, so they're kind of trying to raise consciousness by having more of their ships showing, and that's going to prepare for the arcs being revealed at some point, whether
Yeah.
later 2023,
So
2024.
they're basically gonna get people used to these ships first. Like the people are gonna see them like birds, like every day. Like, oh look, a UFO, and people are gonna have contacts. There's gonna be videos. There's gonna be So they're gonna have people used to it. Like they're gonna get people used to these ships flying around, and they're gonna be revealed that the military is with them. It's okay that they're safe. You know, this balloon situation can tell you how nervous a nation can get when they see a unidentified object over another nation. It's not only happening in the United States, this is happening all over the place, you know? This is a preparation, you know? How how would nations react when they see a UFO? Would they shoot it down? Would they want it to land, make contact to it, and have a peaceful, you know, peaceful reaction? So everything happens for a purpose, Doc, I believe. Everything is happening for a purpose. And right now is not the time for the UFOs, unidentified flying objects, to fly. Is it will be soon. It will be sometime this year or 2024. They will be flying around like birds, like regularly, like planes. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, well, what you described sounds like the Nordics have reached agreements with the US military on a disclosure plan, that they're collaborating for disclosure.
Well, not only the U.S. military, the Chinese, the Russians, Israel. There's gonna be a lot of nations together, and we have to be all on the same page before this happens. That's what's happening. A lot of people don't want. A lot of nations are trying to prove each other wrong. You know, I don't know if you know what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't want to put names out there, but like, for example, you're a nation, I'm a nation. We both got contacts with the Nordics, and one nation tells another nation, tells the Nordics, say, hey, you want to see if this nation is ready to receive what you want to show them? Watch. We're going to put something on top of this nation, and you're going to see what's going to happen. So, I'm not going to say no more.
Okay,
I
that's
can't say no more.
So it's kind of like China had arranged for this balloon to go over because their agenda was to show that maybe the Chinese are more prepared than the Americans for disclosure, if that's an agenda.
I'm not saying it, you're saying it.
Okay. All right. I know you need to go. So any final words you can say to the audience?
Peace be with you guys. Happy thoughts. Blessings to everybody. And Akuria Mate.
Thank you, JP.
You have been listening to Exopolitics Today with Dr. Michael Salla. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Join or start a conversation in the comments. Take the time to explore the vast library of best-selling books, webinars, and podcasts by Dr. Salla. Visit exopoliticstoday.com.